Namaste. Welcome all. I am Advocate B.R. Bornak, Advocate High Court, Mumbai. Today's lecture is Audit Rectification Report, that is Audit Rectification Report per Cooperative Housing Society Limited. Audit of a Cooperative Housing Society. So regarding audit, there are provisions in section 75 subsection 1 and section 81. For audit, there are provisions in section 75 subsection 1 and section 81 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. Besides that, there are provisions in Rule 69 and Rule 74 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Rules 1961, and besides that there are provisions in the bylaws under bylaw numbers 151 and 152. Let us see one by one what are these legal provisions. Now, as per section 75(1), in section 70, this section 75 is mainly provides for the annual general body meeting, but there is a provision regarding audit as well under section 75(1) of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. What is that provision for audit? Let us see here only what is the provision for audit. Means here we will not see other provisions, we will see in the topic annual general body meeting. Here we are concerned with the topic audit. That is why what is the provision regarding audit under section 75(1), that we will see. So what is that provision under section 75 subsection 1 regarding audit? So that section provides for audit by every society within 4 months after close of financial year. Here, as per section 75 subsection 1, it is the responsibility of the society to get its accounts audited by the statutory auditor within 4 months after close of financial year, you can say, or cooperative year, you can say, that is from 1st April to 31st March, that we have seen earlier. So as per 75 subsection 1, as per section 75 subsection 1, that is time to get the accounts of the society audited from the statutory auditor, and the responsibility is of the society, managing committee of the society. So what is the statutory period to get accounts audited from the statutory auditor of a cooperative housing society? That statutory period is 4 months. Within 4 months after close of financial year or cooperative year, that is on or before 31st July. See, your that cooperative year ends on 31st March, then after March, April, May, June, July, that is on or before 31st July, every society, cooperative housing society must get its accounts audited from the statutory auditor appointed to carry out audit of accounts of the society. Okay, means in section 75(1), this is only this is provision for audit only. By remaining provisions, they are about the annual general body meeting, that we will see in the topic annual general body meeting. Now let us see the provisions, main provisions about audit. That is main section 81, that is mentioned, that is there in the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. This section 81, that is for audit. The section 81 provides for audit, and detailed provisions have been mentioned in section 81. Let us see the important provisions which are applicable especially for cooperative housing societies. There are a lot of provisions, but we are concerned with housing societies. So some provisions are there, they are not applicable to housing societies. So let us see the important provisions of section 81. Now first of all, see let us see section 81 subsection 1 clause A. What this section provides for? Section 81 1A, that is audit of a cooperative society must be carried out at least once in each financial year means audit has to be carried out once in each financial year. This audit is to be completed months from the close of financial year. That is same provision as provided under section 75 subsection 1. That is, audit is required to be completed within 4 months from close of financial year. Auditor or auditing firm to carry out audit must be appointed from a panel prepared by the registrar and approved by the state government or other authority authorized by the state government. Here the auditor, statutory auditor appointed by the society, that auditor or auditing firm, they must be on the panel of auditors, the panel which is prepared by the registrar and approved by the state government or authorized authority of the state government. Then this auditor must possess the required qualification and experience. Later on we will see what qualifications and experience that is prescribed to become panel auditor, to get the name of the auditor on the panel of the auditors. So that auditor must possess required qualifications and experience. Then this auditor or auditing firm is required to be appointed by the general body of the society. Means generally the auditor or auditing firm that is appointed in the annual general body meeting, and there is a provision under section 75 2A regarding appointment of auditor in the annual general body meeting of the society. As per section 75 2A, the auditor is to be appointed in the annual general body meeting of the society. The audit report of the statutory auditor is to be laid down before the annual general body meeting. Means the audit report that is required to be submitted to the registrar, but that is required to be laid before the annual general body meeting for consideration. Okay. And if your society is Apex society, that is state level society, Apex society's audit report is laid before both the houses of the state legislature. Means if your society is state level society, that is Apex society, then audit report of Apex society that is required to be laid before both the houses of the state legislature, that is Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Now here the society is required to intimate about auditor's appointment and filing of return of auditor's appointment as per and section 79 1B. Okay, if the register, see, if means how the registrar will come to know that you have appointed registrar? So because now it is the responsibility of the society to get its accounts audited from the statutory auditor, and the statutory auditor is required to be appointed in the annual general body meeting as provided under section 75 2A. Now even though the many societies, many housing societies or many societies, they appoint auditor in the annual general body meeting, but they fail to intimate to the registrar, then how the registrar will come to know that your society has appointed the statutory auditor? That is why, to make aware the registering authority, it is required to be intimated to the registrar by filing a return of auditor's appointment, and it is mandatory under section 75 2A and under section 79 1B, and under bylaw also, bylaw 146B bylaw is there. So under these provisions, it is mandatory to file a return of appointment of auditors. Once you file return of appointment of auditor and intimate the registering authority that your society has appointed auditor, then the registrar will confirm that the society has appointed at society's level only the statutory auditor. But if you fail to intimate to the registrar about appointment of the auditor by way of filing a return of appointment of auditor, then the registrar will take it and appointed the auditor, statutory auditor in annual general body meeting, and the registrar may cause accounts to be audited by auditor registrar. Now, because this provision means many societies, managing committee of many societies, they do not know that the of filing of return, and this return of auditor is required to be filed before the registrar. Now online facilities available there, means you will have to get your society registered online on the portal of the registrar, and once your society is registered online on the portal of the registrar, then all these reports, annual reports, you can submit online also. That facility is also made available to cooperative societies, cooperative housing societies, etc. This online you can file this return within 30 days of the annual general body meeting in which the statutory auditor has been appointed. And if you fail to intimate to the registrar, then registrar will appoint auditor, and registrar will cause accounts to be audited of your society. Registrar will send auditor to carry out accounts of your society. See, this is provision. And in many societies what happens, society appoints auditor in annual general body meeting but doesn't intimate to the registrar by way of filing return, and by using powers under this provision, registrar also appoints some auditor. That auditor comes to the society appointed by the registrar. Then there is a little bit friction or dispute, that society claims that we have appointed that fellow auditor appointed by the registrar. He claims that I have been appointed by the registrar. Registrar is the authority because you have failed to comply with the statutory provisions, and I have the right to carry out the audit, etc. This situation arises in some societies, arises in some societies. That is why it is advisable to file a return of appointment of auditor in time before the registering authority to the registering authority. Okay. Now there is a restriction on auditor or auditing firm, that auditor or auditing firm cannot carry out audit of more than 20 societies, excluding societies having paid up share capital of less than rupees 1 lakh. Means if paid up share capital is less than rupees 1 lakh, paid up share capital of the cooperative housing society or cooperative society is less than rupees 1 lakh, these societies are not counted in this 20. Excluding these societies means what? If the paid up share capital of a cooperative society is rupees 1 lakh or more, then the auditor or auditing firm can carry out audit of maximum 20 cooperative societies, not more than 20 cooperative societies. But for the societies having less than rupees 1 lakh, there is no such restriction. Okay, this restriction is for the societies having rupees 1 lakh or more paid up share capital. Okay, that is, the auditor can audit maximum 20 cooperative societies. Okay. Now it is the response for this purpose, the auditor is required to be appointed who is on the panel prepared by the registrar and approved by the state government or authority authorized by the state government. That is why it is the responsibility of the registrar to maintain panel of auditors and auditing firms as appointed by the state government or by authority authorized by the state government. Means registrar must maintain a panel, registrar must keep a panel of auditors ready, so that the societies can appoint the persons or auditors or auditing firms who are registered on that panel, whose names are there on the panel of the auditors. Okay, now as per this act, there is a provision to section 75 2A. Again, I am referring section 75, that is section 75, that is about annual general body meeting, but there are certain provisions. See, in section 75 subsection 1 and in section 75 2A, and as a proviso to section 75 2A. So these provisions in section 75, they are for audit purpose. Mainly the section 75 provides for annual general body meeting, but for audit also there are certain provisions. So there is a proviso to section 75 2A, not in section 81 but in section 75 2A, and this proviso is important. What is that proviso? That the same auditor who is on the panel of the society not to be appointed by the society for more than 3 consecutive years. Means the society cannot appoint the same person as auditor for more than 3 consecutive years. Means if a person is an auditor and who has been appointed as a statutory auditor of the society can appoint the same person consecutively for a maximum period of 3 years, not more than 3 years consecutively. See, here the provision is for 3 consecutive years, but in bylaws that is for 2 consecutive years. Now this is act, this is provisions in the act, and act prevails over the bylaws. That is why we will take this provision that the society or the auditor can audit of the same society consecutively, not for more than 3 years. Means consecutively for 3 years only one person can be appointed as auditor of the society. The same person can be appointed as auditor of the society. Now further in section 81 only, that is there is a preparation, declaration and maintenance of panel of auditors by the registrar. That is there, that is responsibility of registrar to prepare, declare and maintain panel of the auditors and who are on the panel, they are statutory auditors. Next provision is that the committee to ensure that the annual financial statements are audited with the closure of the financial year. Here the responsibility under this provision, that is under section 81 only, that is of the committee to ensure that the annual financial statements are audited within months of the close of financial year. Here also again the time period is given of 4 months. Accounts have to be audited within 4 months from the close of financial year, that is cooperative year. The registrar to submit audit report of every Apex Cooperative Society to the state government annually for being laid before both the houses. We have seen earlier that audit report of Apex Cooperative Society, that is to be laid before both houses of the state legislature. That is why this report will be submitted by the registrar to lay down state legislative assembly. Then the auditor's report contents of the auditor's report. What are the contents of the auditor's report? Means broadly, the auditor's report shall have all particulars of the defects or the irregularities observed in case of financial irregularities, misappropriation, embezzlement of funds, fraud, to investigate and report the modus operandi, the interestment and amount involved. See here, while preparing audit report, the auditor should mention his report all particulars of the defects or the irregularities observed by him during the course of audit. And finance of serious nature, that is misappropriation of funds, embezzlement of funds or fraud, regarding these misappropriation, embezzlement of funds or fraud, it is the responsibility of the auditor to investigate in detail and report the modus operandi, means how this misappropriation has taken place, how there is embezzlement of funds, how, in what manner, how or in what manner the fraud the concerned office bearers of the society. The interestment means who is responsible for this and amount involved, and what amount of misappropriation is there, embezzlement of funds is there, or fraud is there. Detailed, investigated and reported auditor in his audit report. Then in audit report to indicate in detail accounting irregularities, their implications on the financial statements, the corresponding effects on the profits or loss. If accounting irregularities have been noticed, then they are to be reported in audit report, and their implications on financial statements and the corresponding effects on the profit and loss account, profit and loss of the society, that is to be mentioned in the audit report. Further, to check the functioning of the committee and subcommittees and fix responsibility if any irregularities, violations are observed or reported. Means auditor is responsible to check the functioning of the managing committee and subcommittees as well, and if he finds any irregularity or violation by the committee or any subcommittee, then he will have to fix the responsibility and he will have to accordingly mention in his audit report. Okay, so these are the things broadly the auditor will have to incorporate in his. Next provision, that is remuneration of the auditor to be borne by the society at the rate prescribed. Now regarding there is provision in rule 74 as well. So in rule 74 there is provision for remuneration of the auditor, statutory auditor, and the remuneration is to be paid or fixed in the annual general body meeting only, in which the auditor is being appointed, and that should be at the rate prescribed by the registrar or by the government as per the provisions of rule 74, means not less than the prescribed rate the society can pay to the statutory auditor as his remuneration. Are fixed, society can pay more but not less than that. The registrar to maintain the list of societies district wise with details whether audited or not. Here the registrar at district level, the registrar will have to maintain the list of the societies and particulars pertaining to audit, whether that audit of that society is carried out or not. If the audit is not carried out, then the registrar will have to appoint the auditor and other pertaining information regarding audit of the these things are to be there. Then there are certain explanation to this section 81. These are the provisions, broad provisions of section 81 regarding audit. Now are there. The first main explanation, that is required qualifications for being included in the panel of auditors. Here already we have seen that the auditor to be appointed as statutory auditor must possess the required qualifications. Now what are the required qualifications that the person being appointed auditor must possess? First qualification, that is chartered accountant. If any person is a chartered accountant as provided in the specific act, charter account to be charter accountant. So as per the act, that specific act, if any person has got qualification of the charter accountant, that charter accountant can be appointed as statutory auditor, but that charter accountant will have to be on the panel of the registrar, and certain experiences are experience and knowledge that is also required even though the person is chartered accountant. So besides being a chartered accountant, what other requirements are there that chartered accountant must possess to be a statutory auditor of any cooperative society? That first, fair knowledge of the functioning of the society, means besides being chartered accountant, he must have fair knowledge of the functioning of the societies. Then he must have experience of at least 1 year in auditing of societies. So even though that person is a chartered accountant, of at least 1 year in auditing of societies, then only he can be appointed as a statutory auditor of your society. And he must have working knowledge of Marathi language. So because we are in Maharashtra, though now my lecture is in English, the auditor must have working knowledge of Marathi. Okay, I will try to give this lecture in Marathi also after this lecture in English. Okay, so the person besides being a chartered, fair knowledge of the functioning of the societies, he must have experience of at least 1 year in auditing of societies, and he must have working knowledge of Marathi language. So these are this is educational qualification as well as other requirements. Now another category, that is an auditing firm, auditing on the panel and can be appointed as statutory auditor. That is a firm of more than one chartered accountants. In that firm there are more than one chartered accountant, there is 2 or more. Then fair knowledge of the functioning of the societies. Then working knowledge of Marathi language, means the persons or partners of the firm, auditing firm, they must have fair knowledge and they must have working knowledge of Marathi language. Then this auditing firm also can be empaneled in the panel of the auditors and can be appointed as auditing firm to carry out statutory audit of accounts of your society. The third category, that is of certified auditor. Now in certified auditor, which persons are involved? A person holding a degree from a recognized university, means he must possess degree, this is primary qualification, and also has a government diploma operation and accounting, GDC, and means degree plus what, GDC and A pass person, and who has fair knowledge of function of the society, who has experience of at least 3 years in auditing of societies. Means if you are GDC and A pass graduate and GDC and A exam pass person, then besides fair knowledge of a functioning of the society, you must have working experience of at least 3 years in auditing of societies and working knowledge of Marathi language. So these are the required qualifications, etc., for a certified auditor to be empaneled as auditor on the panel and to be appointed as a statutory auditor of any cooperative society. Now fourth category, that is D category, government auditors. Government auditors, see which persons are involved. Employee of the cooperative department of the state, means the person who was earlier employee of the cooperative department of the state, and he possesses higher diploma in cooperative management, means he has obtained this higher diploma in cooperative management or government diploma in cooperation and accountancy, means of these three he must have at least one diploma, that is higher diploma in cooperative management or diploma in cooperative audit or government diploma in cooperation and accountancy, that is GDC and A. Okay, besides means employee of cooperative department, any of these three diplomas, he must have at least one diploma, and besides this working knowledge of Marathi language and who has completed the period of probation successfully, means in the department corporation department who has completed probation and who has working knowledge of Marathi language can be appointed as a statutory auditor of the society. So these are the four categories which can be appointed as a statutory auditor. These are the required qualifications, experience and other knowledge, etc. For being a statutory auditor of a cooperative societies. Now further provisions, that is audit as per auditing standards. Means here audit standards are there. Audit standards means there, as there are accounting standards, there are audit standards as well. They are declared by the Institute of Chartered Accountants, that is ICAI. Okay. And besides that, which includes examination, verifications of the items mentioned under here under this subsection. Then further promise the audit is to be carried out as per the auditing standards. Then direction orders of state government regarding audit of certain societies. See, for certain societies, separate directions and orders can be given by the registrar or by the state government, such as to prepare and maintain accounts in the form determined by the state government, to carry out cost audit or performance audit or both, etc., etc. So if these are applicable, cost audit, performance audit, and there are specific directions of or orders of state government, then accordingly that society will have to comply all these requirements for auditing purpose. Societies to comply with order under, means the society will have to comply these orders of state government or registrar. Then besides that further provision for auditing is that the auditor must have access to all the books. If means you appoint the statutory auditor, and when he comes to carry out audit of accounts of your society, then you must provide all the books, accounts, documents, papers, securities, cash and other properties belonging, etc. Means auditor can verify all these things. He has right to access to all these things, to all the books, accounts, documents, papers, securities, cash and other properties and belonging of the society. If the auditor he wants to get or fetch any information or believes that any of these books, accounts, documents, papers, securities, cash, etc. Of these things are in possession of particular person, or particular person has knowledge which is required by him for auditing purpose, then that auditor can summon, means call that person to be present and to provide the information or to supply the books, accounts which he belongs, which are in his custody. So auditor has power to summon the person to be present and to provide information or to supply the books or documents, etc. Now besides that, there is a provision under section 81 for flying squad. So flying squad, that is not regular audit, that is audit carried out all of a sudden for short period by higher rank officers in the audit department of the registrar. Flying squad is appointed for examination, means prompt examination, advanced examination as attack. When flying squad can registrar, if the registrar has that there exists an element of fraud, misapplication of funds, manipulation of the accounts, and the accounts of the society are likely to be tampered with, thereby causing loss to the society, means these apprehensions are there or there is a reason to believe, then the registrar can appoint flying squad. When flying squad, if the registrar that there exists an element of fraud, misapplication of funds, manipulation of the, and the accounts of the society are likely to be tampered with, thereby causing loss to the society. When there is a reason to believe this may likely, the registrar can appoint flying squad for examination. Flying squad is a team of higher level officers working in the audit wing of the registrar's office. The report of the flying squad shall be treated as sufficient evidence for further action. When flying squad undertakes examination, that flying squad submits its report to the registrar, and if serious things have been observed and reported in the report, then that can be sufficient document, sufficient evidence to take further. The office bearers or managing committee of the society, one criminal action can be initiated against the office bearers. Even FIR, first information report, to take further criminal action with the police authority on the basis of a report of the flying squad. Okay. Besides that, next there is a provision of test audit. Now, test audit, that is appointed after audit. If there are certain complaints regarding the audit, that audit was not carried out properly, etc., then just to check, just to test whether that audit was carried out properly or not, after audit, test audit is carried out. And test to carry out test audit, certain or few, so only few things they are to be audited as directed by the registrar. So test audit, if it is brought to the notice of the registrar that the audit report submitted by the auditor does not disclose the true and correct picture of the accounts, then in that case, means if the registrar feels that in the regular audit report this proper disclosure is not there, the true and correct picture of the accounts that is not mentioned, then just to take test or recheck, test audit is there. Means test audit can be carried out by the registrar by appointing another person as auditor. The same person cannot be audited for test audit. Another person is required to be audited for test audit. The test audit examination of such items prescribed and specified by the registrar. Meaning in test audit, each and every item that is not audited again. That person who has been appointed as a test to carry out test audit, he can such items prescribed and specified by the registrar. This registrar prescribes, you carry out audit of these things. Then accordingly, that auditor appointed to carry out test audit, he carries out examination of those things only. Now further provision, that is responsibility of officer, employee, every member, past member, to give information, etc., required by the auditor. See, auditor may require information from the office bearers of the present managing committee, or he may require information from the previous managing committee, or from some employee, member, from some member also, past member. Then in that case, it is the responsibility of that officer, employee, member, or past member. If required by the auditor, then auditor will summon to that person. That person will have to attend before the auditor, and that person will have to give to the auditor what information the auditor requires. Okay. Now further provisions about auditor's right, they are there. So auditor's right, in auditor's right we can say auditor has right to receive all notices and every communication relating to annual general body meeting. Means auditor is entitled to receive notice of annual general body meeting and every communication relating to annual general body meeting. Auditor has also right to attend the annual general body meeting. means auditor can attend annual general body meeting and can be heard on any part of the business with which he is concerned as auditor. Means if any point is there pertaining to the accounts of which he has carried out audit, then on that point the auditor has a right to speak in the annual general body meeting. So that right is there, means to receive notice of the annual general body, to attend the meeting of the annual general body meeting and to be heard on that part of the business of the meeting which pertains with the audit which he has carried out. Then next provision, impounding books etc. See, if auditor feels that there is every possibility that manipulation can take place or some alteration can take place with view to defraud or conceal certain material information, then he can impound books if required with previous permission of the registrar and give a receipt thereof to the society. Impounding means seize. He can take in his possession the custody of the books, and when he takes possession, he impounds books and register of the society. He will have to give receipt to the society about which books he has taken in his custody. Okay, means the auditor has this right also, impounding of books of which he wants custody till the audit is complete. Okay, so this also right is also there. Then next provision, that is about audit report. The auditor will have to give audit report. With this we cannot say right, we can say this is a responsibility of the auditor. See, the auditor will have to give his audit report to the society and to the registrar. He will have to give audit report to the society and also to the registrar within a period of 1 month from its completion. Means to complete the audit period, that is 4 months, means the society will have to get accounts audited within 4 months year. As soon as audit is completed by the auditor, he will have to prepare audit report and submit audit report to the society as well as to the registrar, and he will have to see, at least the audit report is required to be laid before the annual general body meeting. That is why under any circumstances the auditor will have to prepare and give the report to the society and the registrar in any case before issuance of notice of annual general body meeting. If delay has taken place, then in any case the auditor will have to submit to the registrar before issuance of notice of the annual general body meeting, because in the notice of the annual general body meeting, it is to be taken on agenda as a subject about audit report. To consider the audit report should be the one of the agenda before the annual general body meeting. So there is also time limit to give audit report to the society and registrar, that is within 1 month after completion of audit, or in any case before issuing notice of the annual general body meeting. Okay, along with the audit report, auditor will have to prepare special report, specific report, etc. if required. Now, what is specific report? Specific report that is required to be prepared and submitted direct to the registrar, not to the society. Specific report and special reports, they are not submitted to the society, because some serious things they observed by the auditor, they are mentioned in special report, and what action is required to be taken, that is mentioned in specific report. So that is why immediate action is required to be taken. That is why specific report is prepared. Okay, in special report, serious findings, etc., they are incorporated, but immediate specific action is required to be taken, and if the auditor wants to recommend that action, then specific report is required to be prepared by the auditor. This specific report, auditor, if he prefers to prepare a specific report, then the auditor will have to prepare specific report and to submit to report to the registrar within a period of 15 days from the date of submission of audit report. So within 15 days from the date of submission of regular audit report to the society and to the registrar, within 15 days the auditor, if he prefers to prepare and submit special report, then he will have to prepare a special report and to submit to the registrar. So especially when the special report auditors prefer to prepare, if any person is guilty of any offense relating to the accounts or any other offenses. Okay, means auditor feels that any person is guilty of any offense relating to the accounts or any other offenses. Means here auditor observes that particular person is guilty of offense. He has committed an offense, and as per law, because there is a list of offenses, he has committed an offense as per law, and that is why immediate action is required to be taken. That time he prepares special report within 15 days of submission of main audit report, and he submits this special report to whom? To the registrar. Okay. Now, if required, FIR, that is first information report, is required to be lodged before the police authority. What are the provisions about FIR? If required, after registrar's written permission, but to file the FIR, he will have to obtain written permission from the registrar, and obtaining written permission from the registrar, the auditor will have to file the first information report. And when there is a requirement of filing an FIR, the auditor will have to file the FIR before the police authority by obtaining permission from the registrar. And if he fails to file the FIR, first information report, then action can be taken against the auditor. What that action can be taken? The auditor is liable for disqualification. Means he can be disqualified as auditor, and his name is liable to be removed from the panel. Means he will be treated as disqualified and his name will be removed from the panel. Besides that, he also will be liable to any other action as the registrar may think fit. Okay. So means auditor will have to file, if required, the auditor will have to file an FIR. For that purpose, he will have to obtain permission from the registrar. But if he fails to file the FIR, then action can be taken against auditor, also auditor as well. He will be treated as disqualified to be auditor, and his name will be removed from the panel, and any other action can be initiated against him as the registrar may think fit or deem fit. And if the auditor fails to file the FIR, the registrar will arrange to file the FIR. Registrar or his authorized officer, authorized person, authorized authority, competent authority will file the FIR against the person who has committed the offense. This is about special report and first information report. Okay. Then a special report. See, a special report is prepared other than regular audit report, but it is to be submitted only to the registrar along with the audit report. Like specific report is required to be submitted within 15 days, within a period of 15 days after submission of regular audit report. But special report, that is required to be submitted directly to the registrar along with audit report. Okay. This means this specific report and special reports, they are to be submitted to the registrar, not to the society. Only regular audit report, that is to be submitted to the society. Okay. So that's the special about the special report. Special report is to be submitted to the registrar with audit report if financial irregularities resulting into losses to the society are noticed by the auditor during the course of his audit. If the auditor has noticed certain serious financial irregularities resulting into losses to the society, then he will have to prepare special report on that. He will have to mention all these financial irregularities causing losses to the society in his special report, and he will have to submit the special report to the registrar along with regular audit report. If the auditor fails to prepare special report and to submit to the registrar, then also the same action can be taken against the auditor. What is that action? The auditor will be treated liable for negligence in his duties, and he will be liable for disqualification from appointment as an auditor, and other action can be initiated against him. Means if he fails to prepare special report and file FIR, action can be taken against the auditor. If he fails to prepare special report and submit to the registrar, then also action can be taken against the auditor. Now next provision, that is about re-audit. Re-audit, see, section 81 subsection 6 is about re-audit. Okay, as per subsection 6 of section 81, the society can demand for re-audit. So re-audit is mostly demanded by the present managing committee about the working of the previous managing committees, especially when they feel that there was a lot of irregularities, violations, etc., misappropriation of funds, embezzlement of funds, then fraud, etc., during the period of previous managing committee. Then this demand generally can be made. Demand generally is done by the present managing committees. Okay, so the provision regarding re-audit, that is as per subsection 6 of section 81 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. Let us see about re-audit. If it appears to the registrar on an application by the society or otherwise means even some members also can demand for re-audit. That is, on application for the society or otherwise, the registrar, if it appears to the registrar that it is necessary or expedient, then the registrar may order for re-audit. Okay, on application from the society or application from members or otherwise, if the registrar feels that it is necessary and expedient to carry out the audit again for the earlier period for which the audit was actually done, the registrar can give order for re-audit, and he appoints a qualified auditor, generally of the higher rank than the auditor who has carried out statutory audit earlier, and the re-audit is carried out by the auditor and report is submitted to the registrar, and on the basis of report the registrar can take further action as he thinks fit. Okay, then special audit of cooperative bank, means there is a provision of special audit of cooperative banks. We are not concerned with being related with housing societies, we are not concerned with that, but there is a provision. If special audit of any cooperative bank carried out, then this can be carried out if specifically required by the Reserve Bank of India. Then this special audit of cooperative banks can be carried out, and the auditor will have to submit a report to the audit registrar as well as to the Reserve Bank of India for this purpose. Okay, now these were the provisions regarding audit under the Act, under section 75 and under section 81. Now let us see the provisions pertaining to audit in the bylaws. So in the bylaws, under bylaw number 1, appointer. So number 151 provides for appointment of auditor also. Means the society can appoint internal auditor if it considers it necessary. This internal auditor is appointed in annual general body meeting. 151A, appointment of auditor. In this provision, it is mentioned that appoint internal auditor by passing a resolution in the annual general body meeting if it considered it necessary. If the society or annual general body considers it necessary, then internal auditor can be appointed. Means to appoint an internal auditor is not mandatory. It is not binding on the society. If it considers necessary, means it is optional. But in that only there is a provision for appointment of statutory auditor, which is mandatory. The society will have to appoint statutory auditor in the annual general body meeting from the panel of auditors approved by the state government, prepared by the registrar, approved by the state government. In detail we have seen earlier, section 81. Okay. Same statutory auditor not to be appointed for more than 2 consecutive years. This is provision of bylaw. Under bylaw number 151A it is mentioned, but we have seen under proviso to section 75(2)A that the same auditor cannot be appointed consecutively for more than 3 years. So we can take that provision as valid provision, because it is a provision of the act. So what is in the bylaws, that is also the state auditor is required to submit provided or a further provision is that responsible accounts audited. Now here under bylaw it is mentioned within 6 months, but 6 months period, that is as per constitutional amendment. This 6 months period for conducting annual general body meeting, that period is also 6 months. Carry out audit within 6 months, then there will be overlapping and the society won't be able to lay before the annual general body meeting the provisions in the act that we can take as proper provision, that in 4 months of close of cooperative year or accounting year, financial year, the society will have to. We have seen under bylaw number 151 there is a provision for appointment of auditor. The society, if wants, can appoint internal auditor, and society will have to appoint statutory auditor. The society will have to appoint statutory auditor. Under bylaw number 152, it is the responsibility of the secretary to produce books, registers, records, etc. to internal and statutory auditor, and on the basis of the records provided by the secretary and the information, the auditor can prepare his audit report. So this was about audit of a cooperative society. Now let us see what are the provisions about audit rectification report on the audit report of a cooperative society. So the provisions pertaining to audit rectification report, we find those provisions under section 82 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960, under rule 73 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies rules 1961, and under bylaw number 153 of the bylaws of the society. Now let us see the provisions under section 82 about the rectification of defects in accounts. Means when the auditor submits his audit report to the society, then the secretary or the other any other person authorized by the committee, he will have to prepare the audit rectification report, means explaining on the points raised by the auditor in his audit report, and pertaining to that there are provisions under section 82 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. See, what are those provisions? Rectification report is to be prepared by the secretary of the society or any other authorized person, and to be submitted to the registrar within 3 months from the date of audit report. Means from the date of receipt of audit report, the society will have to prepare the audit rectification report and will have to submit to the registrar within 3 months from the date of receipt of audit report. This audit rectification report, that is for explaining on the defects, irregularities pointed out by auditor. Whether the defects, irregularities pointed out by the auditor, they are correct or not. If they are not correct, then why not correct? If they are correct, then what rectification the society has done or proposed to be done. All those things, they are to be mentioned in the audit rectification report. That is, audit rectification report is for explaining on the defects, irregularities pointed out by the registrar and steps taken to rectify the defects and remedy the irregularities. Means in rectification report it is to be mentioned what steps the society has taken to rectify the defects and remedy the irregularities. Then a rectification report to be placed before the next general body meeting. If before the annual general body meeting notice is issued, if you have prepared rectification report and submitted to the registrar, then you can place, your society can place that rectification report along with the audit report before the annual general body meeting, coming annual general body meeting for which the notice has been issued. Rectification report, because you have 3 months to prepare audit rectification report from the receipt of audit report, and to carry out audit 4 months time period is there, that is up to 31st July your audit can be carried out. Thereafter the auditor will have then again 1 month. So you may or may not prepare the audit rectification report because you again have 3 months time period to prepare audit rectification report. So your audit rectification report may not be ready by the date of issue of notice of annual general body meeting. That is why if not possible for your society to place the audit rectification report on the audit report of that year, then you can place before the next annual general body meeting. That is allowed. Okay. Then the registrar may also make an order directing for other actions. Means what action you have taken after submitting report. If the registrar is not satisfied, then registrar can order the society to take any other action as suggested by the registrar. Further, if the committee fails to submit audit rectification report to the registrar and annual general body meeting. See, audit rectification report is required to be prepared within 3 months and to be submitted to the registrar. In annual general body meeting, you can put before this annual general body meeting or next year annual general body meeting, but you have to prepare within 3 months and you have to submit to the registrar within 3 months. So if your society fails, if you fail to comply with this requirement within prescribed time limit, then it will be treated as offense under section 146. Because to treat this as offense, there is a clause L1 under section 146 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960, and for that offense under clause L1 of section 146, there is corresponding punishment under clause L1 of section 147 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960, and that punishment is by way of fine which may extend to 5,000 rupees. So now, not submitting audit rectification report within prescribed time period is an offence under clause L1 of section 146 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960, and for offence under section L1, under clause L1 of section 146, there is punishment under clause L1 of section 147. That punishment is fine, which may extend to 5,000 rupees. Okay, now it is offence, and if you if any committee member comes under section 146 and 147, if his any act is considered as offence under section 146 and punishment is imposed under section 147, then that committee member or office bearer is disqualified to be a managing committee member. He will be removed from the managing committee, and he will be treated as disqualified to be a committee member for further 5 years, for further period of not exceeding 5 years. Okay, the repercussions of attributing section 146 and 147 are quite serious. Then order of penalty after consulting Federal Society. Society is a member of that Federal Society. See, while imposing this penalty for not submitting audit rectification report, opinion of the federation, state federation or district federation, is obtained by the registrar. The society must have got membership of that federation. If the society is member of the federation, then the registrar will have to obtain opinion from the federation, and the federation will have to give opinion within 30 days. If the opinion is not given within 30 days, then it is stated that the federation has no objection for the action of punishment as decided by the registrar. Okay, then Federal Society to communicate within 45 days, opinion, not 30 days, that 30 days is for other purposes. For this purpose, that is 45 days, Federal Society to communicate within 45 days. If the Federal Society fails to communicate opinion within 45 days, then that will be treated as the Federal Society has no objection, and registrar can proceed further to impose the penalty. Registrar to scrutinize audit rectification report and on submission of audit report to the registrar's office, the registrar will have to scrutinize that audit report and report and inform to the society if any further action is required within 6 months. This responsibility of the registrar. Then further responsibility of auditor is also there. There is further responsibility on auditor, that auditor will have to offer remarks on audit rectification report. Audit rectification report is submitted to the registrar and to the auditor, and after going through the audit rectification report, if the auditor wants to offer further remarks, then he will have to offer further remarks atom wise till entire rectification is made, and he will have to submit his report to the registrar. Means after going through the audit rectification report, he will have to offer his remarks atom wise, and containing his remarks atom wise till rectification is made. He will have to he will have to every time he will have to submit his report to the registrar, and on the basis of registrar will decide what further action here to the position. These are the provisions under section 82 about audit rectification report. Now, as per rule 73, the rule 73 provides for form, that is form number prescribed for the audit report. Under rule 73, prescribed form to prepare audit rectification report, that is form O, means audit rectification they have to be prepared in form O by the society and will have to be registrar submitting one copy to the auditor, submitted before the annual general body meeting. Form O. The society to continue to submit rectification reports till all defects are rectified or the irregularities are remedied to the satisfaction of the registrar. Means under Rule 73 what is mentioned is audit rectification report in O form is required to be submitted till all defects are rectified or to the satisfaction submitted and registrar is not satisfied. Again registrar can point out again the society will to prepare audit rectification report in form O till okay. This is about audit rectification report. Means audit rectification report will have to be prepared by the society and to be submitted to the registrar till the registrar gets satisfied. So there is form O for preparation of audit rectification report as prescribed under Rule 73 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Rules 1961. Now what are the provisions under bylaws with respect to audit rectification report? So under bylaw number 153 sub bylaw A, that is bylaw number 153A, there is provision for preparation of audit rectification report. So what are these provisions? On receipt of the audit reports from the statutory and internal auditors, because the bylaw allows to appoint internal auditors. So on receipt of audit report from the statutory and internal auditors, the secretary will have to prepare draft audit rectification report on the objections raised and suggestions made by the auditors, that is either statutory auditor or internal auditor. Means first of all in form O the secretary will have to prepare draft audit rectification report in form O as prescribed under Rule 73 that we have seen just now, and thereafter the secretary will have to place the said audit rectification report, draft audit rectification report prepared by him before the meeting of the committee, okay, before the next meeting of the committee for approval of the committee. Then the audit rectification to be done by the committee within 3 months from the date of audit report. Means this process is to be finished within 3 months, because time limit given by the act, that is of under section 82, that is of 3 months. Within 3 months the committee will have to finalize the audit rectification report and to submit to the registrar. Okay, the committee to submit audit rectification report to the registrar and the annual general body meeting of the society, that as provided under section 82 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. Next provision about audit rectification report, that is if the committee fails to submit audit rectification report to the registrar and the annual general body meeting, all the members of the committee shall be deemed to have committed an offence under section 146, that is 146 L1 of the Act, and shall be liable for penalty 47 of the Act, that is 147 L1, that I already explained to you, that is under section 82 also. Okay, so these are the provisions about audit rectification report in the bylaws of the society. Now after today we have completed in this lecture we have seen the provisions pertaining to audit rectification report. Okay, today here I am concluding my lecture. If you want any further clarification, you can contact me on WhatsApp, or you can call me on my mobile number. My mobile numbers are 8657 360 676. Other number is 9869450525. Thank you all. Okay, here I conclude my lecture, and we will meet during the next lecture. By that time, thank you very much for listening this lecture. Thank you very much.